a little more sensitive to that now. Walmart just got hit today. They got a $3 billion settlement today they had to give out because of their contribution to the opioid crisis.
Wow.
Make sure that's right.
Was that part of like the...
Yeah, Walmart agrees to give $3.1 billion to opioid settlement framework. Well, that's a tiny fucking piece of how much they earned, which is really disturbing. You find out the Sackler family, how much they actually made from lying about the addictive properties of it. I mean, pushing it on people. Dude, when I got my nose fixed, I had a deviated septum. I got out of there, and once I woke up and everything, the doctor's like, "Okay, I've got you 2 different painkillers." I go, "Do I need those?" He's like, "You're gonna need those." I go, "But is it gonna get worse than it is right now?" He's like, "No, might not." I go, "But right now it doesn't hurt at all. Like, I don't know why you giving me these?" He's like, "Just take it." And I'm like, "Well, shouldn't I, wouldn't it be better if I didn't take it and then I came to you and I needed it?" I was like, "What am I doing with this? I never filled them at all."
I've not filled out a prescription for painkillers once since I got sober.
Well, since you got sober, it's a good call. I've never had a problem with painkillers. In fact, I had my knee repaired in '94, and I can't remember if they gave me Percocet or Vicodin. I don't remember which one, but I wound up selling them at the pool hall because I was like, this is terrible. I'd rather be in pain. Like, for my personality, whatever it is, like, me being stupid was the hardest part because I was just laying on my couch. It took them one day, and I was so stupid. I was like, I can't live like this. Like, I feel so dumb. Like, whatever it is with me, my own biology, how I react to painkillers, no bueno. So my next knee operation, when I got my ACL reconstructed, no painkillers at all. I didn't take shit.
Yeah.
And so when my nose got fixed, the doctor's like, "You're going to have to take painkillers." I'm like, "For this? Like, this doesn't even hurt." It's like once they did the operation, it was mildly uncomfortable. That was because they had these big foam tubes stuffed up my nose.
When you say deviated septum, that means like a hole in the wall?
No. My septum was my nose had broken so many times that I only had like 1/4 of one nostril that I could get oxygen from. The other one was completely closed. So I could go like this, and I literally couldn't breathe a thing out of my nose. And then on top of that, the same thing that happens to cauliflower ear also happens to the inside of your nose. So when you get a bloody nose and your nose gets smashed all the time, calcium deposits can form inside of your nose the same way they form in your ear. So my nose was just useless. So the doctor scooped all that shit out and shaved my turbinates down and then reconstructed the actual septum, so the path between the 2 nostrils. So when he did that, when I was 40, it was like the first time I could breathe out of my nose since I was like 5. I fell down a flight of stairs when I was 5 years old and broke my nose.
Wow.
And it's been fucked ever since then. And then from that time, all those years of combat sports, I broke it in jiu-jitsu, I broke it in kickboxing, I broke it in taekwondo. I broke it so many times. It was just useless. But when I got it fixed, the doctor was like, "You're going to need these pain pills." I was like, "Are you fucking sure? Like, can't I just be uncomfortable? Like, whatever happened to being uncomfortable? Is that okay?"
Right. And you know what? Like, it's incredible how effective Advil and Tylenol are.
Both those things are terrible for you.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible for you. Do you know that if you take Tylenol is acetaminophen. If you take 20 times more than the dose, you're dead.
Wow.
Dead. There's a lot of people who die every year from Tylenol poisoning. In fact, there was a really terrible story about a woman who had COVID, and she was in agony because she had COVID, so she just kept taking Tylenol. She died from liver failure.
Wow.
From fucking Tylenol. It's terrible for you. Advil's terrible for you.
Advil's bad for your stomach.
Yes, it's bad for a lot of things, but they're non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, and they cause gut inflammation in a lot of people. Like my friend Cam, he was taking 800 milligrams of Advil every day because he runs every day and he was always in pain. He heard a podcast I did with Dr. Rhonda Patrick. She explained all the dangers of non-steroidal anti-inflammatories and what they do to your gut and what they do to your gut biome and how they actually create inflammation. So he gets off of them. All his fucking pain went away.
Yeah.
So taking anti-inflammatories for pain was actually the source of his pain.
Huh.
Isn't that wild?
Well, if you're doing it on an ongoing basis, then I think that is a dynamic that will,
Yeah, in his case, it was pretty extreme.
Right. Like, if it's pretty rare that you're in pain and you take...
I mean, if you have a headache and you take it, if you're smart about it, you take it every now and again, I'm sure it's okay. It's like everything else. Your body will recover. But you just have to be careful with that stuff. To think that it's completely innocuous just because you could buy it at a drugstore is not the case.
Right.
And the Tylenol poisoning, when Dr. Peter Attia was explaining to me that it's just 20 times the recommended dose will kill you, I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I
hadn't heard any of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that Advil was bad for your stomach, and I got to be careful with that because I have Barrett's esophagus.
What is that?
It's like erosion of the esophagus, like the tube coming out of your stomach. It's basically from like acid reflux and shit. And it's scary because it's often a precursor to esophageal cancer.
Ooh.
So it's something that I monitor really closely. Like at the moment, I'm stable with it. But
What caused that?
I don't even know. I think acid reflux.
But what caused the acid reflux?
I don't have any
The
idea.
drugs or alcohol or
Maybe.
How many people die a year from Tylenol? See, pull up how many people die a year in the United States from acetaminophen. When I found that, I was shocked. Well, when I read about that woman who died when she was just trying to get over the COVID, 2,000. It's responsible for 56,000 emergency department visits, 2,600 hospitalizations, and 500 deaths per year in the United States. 50% of those are unintentional overdoses. Wow, 50% of them are intentional then. Oof, that's awful. What an awful way to go. More than 60 million Americans consume acetaminophen on a weekly basis, and many are unaware that it is contained in combined products.
What about like Bayer? Like Bayer
No,
and
it's
aspirin?
okay.
Like the people take that for their heart?
Yeah, aspirin, I think in low doses is probably not bad, but I think